Quick turnaround, kind of been a busy, crazy week. Just kind of talk about what's been going on the last couple days from lifting the shield to now here in Portland.
Yeah, obviously, first and foremost, we just want everyone to be safe and sound in Florida and hope everyone is getting the resources they need. Obviously, it was an amazing Sunday for us and winning the Shield and the first trophy ever for the club. So something we're all still buzzing about, and obviously it was an amazing accomplishment, and especially with the first one for the club. I think that's so cool to be part of, and the season has been a long one, but a really rewarding one. But obviously, since the hurricane, we all came pretty quick turnaround to Portland. We're able to be here for the week, and so now, obviously, what a great achievement in winning the Shield, but we're trying now to look forward to Portland on Friday.
And now looking forward to Portland on Friday. What kind of matchup do you expect? Obviously, Providence Park, a tough place to play. Just kind of what are you expecting to see in this matchup on Friday?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I think, obviously, like you said, playing in Portland is one of the hardest places to play. Their fan base, and it's always loud. It's a fortress, I think, that they've made over the years, and it's a fun place to play. And I think for us, we're just obviously looking to continue the streak and good performances and heading into the playoffs. But yeah, I think it'll be a good game, and obviously Portland's looking to get some wins, and they're in the playoff push as well, so they're going to come out strong and fast, and we need to be ready for that.
Great. We'll go ahead and go to the Zoom. Jenna, go ahead.
Thanks so much. Hi, Morgan. Jenna Janelli with Sports Illustrated. I wanted to ask you about Emily Sams and just what you've seen from her as a young player on the back line and how important she was to this Shield win to this Orlando team this year.
Yeah, Emily Sams has grown immensely just in the time that I've played with her this year. She's a young player and someone who I feel like her upside is massive, and I feel like she's coming into her own, especially this year. I think she's been monumental for us in the back line, along with all of our players on the back line who've played minutes, and Anna, of course, and it's been one of the best defensive performances from a team. I mean, record breaking. So yeah, I think it's been awesome to see, and I think that for me, I've been really impressed with her and how much she's grown. And obviously, if she's grown this much in such a short time, I feel like the sky's the limit for her.
Absolutely. One more for me. So obviously in the NWSL, you have the Shield winner, and then you have the NWSL championship. And as someone who just recently won the Shield, I'm very curious just kind of your thoughts on the two different awards. Obviously, there's a lot. The championship is the championship, but some might argue that the Shield is potentially harder to do. So I'm just curious, like your thoughts on that, and just as someone who's been in this league for a while.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think, being in America and an American sports league, I think the championship and the playoffs is such an American thing. So there's obviously beauty in that. But I think to win the Shield is something that is, I think, in my opinion, 10 times harder to do, because you have to be the most consistent team day in and day out, week in and week out, and continuously put performances together. And I think that shows over the long haul of the season. Just the consistency of performance, but also just the quality within the group, and then also the depth within the group, because it's taken every single person on our team to win the Shield. And I think for us, it's especially going undefeated is insane, especially with the quality of teams in this league. So for me, I think that winning the Shield is definitely the harder thing to do. But at the same time, we also want to win a championship, because a lot of times over the past years, you remember who wins the championship and not necessarily the Shield winner. But yeah, I think it's a amazing accomplishment, and I think for me, it's the first time I've won the Shield or a championship of some sort, and over the long haul of a season, being on a team. So I think it's been a credit to the group of the consistency with performances over the year. And I personally think the Shield should become higher than the championship, because all you have to do at some point to win the championship is make it into the playoffs, which is the top 8 teams, and then anything can happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's an interesting question. All right, well, congrats on everything, and best of luck this weekend. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll go to Austin David.
Hey, Morgan. You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but just with the quick turnaround, obviously the elation of Sunday, flying out Monday, now playing on Friday. How do you just mentally shift your mind from, celebrating a championship to now going into a game knowing that you still have, games left in the regular season.
Yeah, I think one thing that this group has done a really good job of this year is taking one game at a time and not focusing on the wins and the ties and all those things. I think we've literally just focused every single week forward, but one step at a time. And I think for us, that's no different. Obviously, we celebrated winning the Shield as we should. It's an amazing accomplishment and something we've been working towards the entire year. But at this point, I think now we've shifted our focus onto, yes, we won the Shield and we've accomplished such a great thing. And to not take that for granted and celebrate it, but at the same time, there's still work to be done. And we're not satisfied with just the Shield. We want the championship. And I think for us now it's focusing on performances and how we can continue to get better so that we put ourselves in the best place to go into that first playoff game.
Playing in Portland is obviously a very tough place to play, especially with the field and turf and everything. How beneficial is it just to get there as early as you guys have been there now, just to kind of acclimate yourself and kind of prepare yourself for a game at that place?
Yeah, I think anytime you can come a little bit earlier, especially with the time change and the flight across the country, 5.5 hour flight, I think is beneficial. And obviously being together as a group and preparing for the next game, and also coming off the back end of winning a Shield, of just being with the group and being able to celebrate it and let it sink in, I think has been great. And then obviously, like you said, just to get used to the field and used to the time change is huge.
Thanks, Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you, Morgan. And next up, we have head coach Seb Hines. Seb won the Shield on Sunday. Now, quick turnaround back here in Portland. Just can you try and put together what the last couple days have been like?
Yeah, obviously a lot of joy. It's been a long journey to get here, but I've said from the start we've taken it game by game, and there's an element of relief that we've managed to get it over the line and done. At home in front of our own fans. There's no better way of doing it at your own ground. And so, yeah, a lot of credit goes to the players, the staff, the organisation, because, there's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes put into the victory on Sunday. And so everyone's pleased. But reality is, we've got a big game coming up this Friday against Portland.
We talk about Friday with a quick turnaround. Had to leave a couple days earlier than planned. Can you just kind of talk about the decision in that and maybe what's going on down in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, for us, first and foremost, the safety of everyone, making sure that we get to Portland as safe as possible. So getting here a couple of days earlier was a no-brainer. But yeah, on behalf of the Pride organisation, our thoughts are out to everyone who's been affected by the recent disasters with both, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, and we all wish for the safety of everyone, and it's really important that everyone listens to the advice and what's been said, and yeah, our support and well-being goes out to everyone during this challenging time.
Great, we'll go ahead and go to Jenna on the Zoom.
Hi, Coach. Jenna Tonelli with Sports Illustrated. Thank you so much for taking the time. Just ask Morgan these questions, but I wanted to get your take on them as well.
Okay.
So the first one I wanted to ask is about Emily Sams. Obviously a young defender, but having a standout season, and just, your thoughts on just her overall, how she's grown and how important she's been to this undefeated streak and Shield win.
Yeah, she's been instrumental. I think everyone can see how far she's come from the day we signed her back start of last year, to where she's at right now. She should take a lot of confidence in her performances, but also, getting her first call up and going away with the US national team and being in that environment goes a long way. But yeah, credit to her, because she's put a lot of work into her craft, and we're just so pleased to have her here and representing this club.
Absolutely. And then my second question is about the Shield versus the NWSL Championship. Obviously, the championship is the one that gets all the hullabaloo, but as someone like you who's been in England, here, just won the Shield, and I'd say that arguably winning the Shield is harder than winning the championship. And I'm just curious, kind of your thoughts on just the Shield versus the championship, and just what you think, if more
Yeah, you don't want to take any credibility away from winning the Shield. I think, like you said, it's so difficult to be so consistent throughout. It's been 10 months since we started this year, and so to do that while still being undefeated, going on the road and traveling and playing at such a high level, and the competitiveness within this league and the parity within this league is so tough, and so you don't want to take anything away from being the number one team in the league, but you also have to read the room, and the reality is, like you said, the main focus when you step into this league is winning the championship, which is a 3-game tournament. And so once you're in that tournament, anyone can win on their given day. And so yeah, our focus now is staying consistent for these last 3 games, but making sure we're prepared for, games at home, which is massive, but making sure that we're at Kansas City for the championship final.
Absolutely. You still want to keep that upbeat streak? Is that still one of the goals?
I think for us, one main focus was getting something that we can hold on to, and winning the Shield is massive. Getting the banner in the stadium, getting some silverware, that is it's unbelievable for this organization. Like, there's been so much disappointment, but to finally be on a podium and hold a trophy goes a long way. If we can stay unbeaten for the rest of the season, and you say 3 games like that'll be in our wildest dreams, but our focus now is obviously making sure now we're competitive and looking forward to representing this club in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And we will wrap up with Austin Dane.
Hey Seb, just going up against the Portland team that is fighting for their place in playoffs. How are you kind of approaching a team like that? Now that you've been able to clinch the Shield, the number 1 spot, and the spot in the playoffs. How does the mentality change at all for you, just in terms of going against a team like Portland?
Our mentality doesn't change. Again, we want to win every game that's put in front of us. We know that this is probably one of the hardest environments to play at. And they have some really quality players. Historically, Portland have always been up at the top of the table. Right now they're going through kind of a rough patch, but it doesn't take away the dangerous players and this team. And so we have to be on our best game, our best performance to get anything out of this. Again, it's been a quick turnaround from Sunday to Friday. So again, we have to make sure that we're ready to go and represent this team as best as possible. So yeah, we've had discussions of rotating some players, again, to make sure that everyone feels fresh and ready to perform at their highest.
At this point in the season, every team has gotten to see and play against Barbara. It seems like they've started kind of keying in a lot more on her, being a lot more physical in terms of defending. What kind of advice have you been able to just kind of give her over the last couple of games of now that everybody knows who she is, what they're coming up against, and how to kind of try and stop her, just to not get a bit too frustrated with not being able to get on the score sheet?
I think it's a credit to her. I think, teams now have a game plan on how to stop Barbara, because she set this league alight when she first came in. And I don't think people should judge her just based on goals. She's still a threat. She's still getting in good areas. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have, got the penalty. And it's incredibly difficult for teams to have to battle and fight against Barbara. But she plays such a big part in our success. And so she has to continue to grow, continue to learn, have an understanding on how to continue to manipulate defenders, but she's been tremendous. And yeah, again, we can't just judge her based on goal scoring contributions. Like, she is constantly a threat, running in behind, challenging defenders, but it also frees up other key quality players within our team. And so yeah, we'll just continue to grow her as much as possible moving forward.
And talking about that, I guess, with all the other players being able to step up and get those goals, because ultimately goals change games. How impressed have you been just with everyone else on the rest of the team and their ability to find the back of the net?
Yeah, it's a team game, and we've said from the start we can't just rely on one or two players. Everyone plays a part, and so you think about the build-up, you think about transitions, you think about set pieces. There's always opportunities to score and players to contribute, and so I've been really pleased with everyone's contributions throughout the season, not only in attack but obviously defensively as well. I know enough hasn't been talked about we kept a clean sheet as well on Sunday, so that adds to our tally. But yeah, it's been a real team effort, and yeah, it'll just continue for us to move forward.
Cool. Thanks, Seb.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Cheers.